Welcome to Dune, Sietch Abbikat, session 4. Our exciting adventurers have infiltrated an enemy siege base, some kind of combination of the two, out on the salt flats, and are in the process of making their way through. Joining me tonight are Pete, Aaron, and Dan. Unfortunately, Alden is going to look pensive and thoughtful down in the corner there because he's not very well today, and we wish him all the best. So Foom is going to be back upstairs helping out those escaping chair. Pete's ready on the thumbs up at Alden picture, just in case. So Foom is going to be continuing to help the escaping members, ecologists of the Sietch, to get away. What happened last week?
Horrible, messy, bloody tasks.
Yeah. We fought a Laza tiger and a couple of ogres, and almost all died.
Yep. Like straight up. But we rescued Amawat and Jadir first, didn't we? From the science lab. Lab? Labs generally do science, don't they?
No, they were after. You saved them after.
Yeah, right after we fought.
After the fight, yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
We found out some more names of the people we were up against. Obviously Hanan, and then Lucerne. Mm-hmm. And the bad smugglers, I think, were Raza Saquin or something along those lines. And then we also learned, obviously, that House von Mir, which was involved in the mutations of that.
No, Ras Al Sakin is the name of the base.
The name of the base. Okay. The smugglers' base.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we also learned that the Jakarutu were helping them out.
Yes, and they're all supposed to be dead, which is eye-opening.
Yeah. So lots of people to nuke.
Exactly.
As luck would have it, you have a nuke.
But we found out the Jakarutu had gone, hadn't they? They've moved on. Whereas the smugglers are here, but the Jakarutu are helping them. So we've got to take these guys out, and then
no, Jakarutu was still around.
Hadn't someone gone off into the salt flats?
Well, we found out that they have another location.
That's it. Right. Yeah.
You didn't get full details, but there is another location deeper in the salt flats.
Okay.
Where they're doing something horrible.
Okie dokie.
And
so
then,
at the end of the last session,
we saw the guards
gone
the
through
Reverend
the kitchen
Mother's room. Yeah.
And snuck up the back way, gone into the corridor where the Sayadina is being held captive, not Sayadina.
Reverend Mother.
Yes, she got promoted. So where the Reverend Mother is being held captive, and it was a wooden panelled corridor with two Fremen-looking guards stood at the door, and Dan's character Xavier had made his way down there and done a beautiful bit of political bluffing on those two guards to get them to turn around and open the door to let him in. And that was where we'd left off, if I recall correctly, with them not looking at you cheesing it down the corridor. With stabbing in mind.
Yeah. Chris knife in hand.
As quietly as possible, because wasn't their leader in there as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lucerne was in there.
Yeah.
Questioning.
Lucerne is the Spicing Guild agent.
He's about to have a bad day.
Oh, yeah.
Unless Dan decides to betray you horribly.
And sadly, we'll have to take Xavier's
then he too will have a
as
bad
well.
day.
This is...
Okay, so
I warned him a long time ago.
He really did.
Pete, show the nice people your t-shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, man.
Chome. Just in case anybody forgets what the acronym is for.
Indeed. Because it rolls off the tongue.
It does, doesn't it? So one of these Fremen guards has turned away from the corridor and is opening the door to let Xavier in. The other one is watching him and watching Xavier while they do so. So at that point, the two of you sprint down the corridor with murder in mind.
Absolutely.
And our audience have kindly gifted us with 4 momentum points before we even started. So we're on 5 because we had 1 last time.
Yes.
Thank you.
So the door opens into what looks to be more like a hospital room than an interrogation chamber or an office or a prison cell. So you're seeing clean, pale, whitey beige machinery, walls, machines inside are beeping, and the door opens wide enough for you to step through. As it does so, your colleagues make it down the corridor.
Yeah, I mean, Sirach has got his Chris knife in hand. He applied his poison.
He did apply poison.
So it's a quality 3 weapon now. Yeah, just
hand round the mouth, knife in the back of the head.
Come on, let's see it.
Okay. Does anyone mind if I take a point of momentum?
Yeah, no, go for it. I'm going to take
Would
one
positively
too.
recommend it at this point.
I am going to take one too.
I've got 3 dice. I've got my brand new Dune dice for my birthday.
Very nice.
Let's see if they roll well.
Go Aladi.
Let us hope that the sands do not betray you.
What are we rolling on? Battle and duty? Faith?
I was thinking battle and justice for Sirach because his justice statement is exacting retribution against all who have wronged each one Bedouin.
Yeah, that works. And I think Pete duty works better for you because
it's the Sietch must survive for the coming
survival of the Sietch. Yeah. And a Sietch without a Reverend Mother is a Sietch in trouble.
Absolutely. Here we go. So I've got the 5th. Oh no, my battle's down to 6. So 13. 2 successes. Oh, strategy doesn't count, does it? No. Right, 2 successes.
2 successes. So you plunge your knife into the guard. I mean, you're going for the 1 shot, 1 kill thing, but you're not going to get that.
No,
so easily.
I'm not Sirach.
So my battle and justice gives me a target number of 15 with a focus in short blades of an 8. I got a 1, I got a 5, and I got a 12 for 5 successes.
5 successes. So as you imagine, Aladi, Sirach is there and perforating.
So he's doing what I thought I was doing.
Yeah.
Right at the base of the skull, 1 twist to pop the cervical spine.
How do you do that bit? How do you do that bit?
You're like sawing away at the back of this guy's skull.
I'll show you later, Naive.
I've cut the still suit.
Spray of water around the back of his neck. But yeah, so Sirach runs up and assassinates one of these guards in short order while you start fumbling with the other one. He in turn is going to try and stab you back. Not with that roll, he's not. I got a 16 and a 17.
Good.
So he starts flailing behind him with his Chris knife and big wide eyes.
Did I manage to get my hand over his mouth? Because that was I wanted to grab him.
Yeah, so you got your hand over his mouth, but you also then just like cut a line in the back of his scalp rather than anything particularly useful. Xavier, what do you want to do?
Are there any left alive?
There's the one that
I'm holding.
Aladi is still like struggling with.
In which case my knife kind of slips out of my wrist pouch and I just try to reverse it into a belly stab.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
You don't have one of those waist blades?
Like, no, my blade's no. So my blade is like a stiletto dagger.
Oh, cool.
For like dirty smuggling jobs. Okay.
I think for you, it's kind of a power and battle roll.
Power and battle, okay.
Because you're just going full on stabby.
7, 6. 13, okay. Shall I take a point of momentum?
Just go for it.
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yes, please. I will.
There you go.
Three success. Oh no, sorry, that's 19. 2 successes.
So you put your blade in his guts, and he sags slightly. He's still not dead, but he's not doing terribly well for himself. Serac, do you want to finish this guy off?
Yeah, so Serac pulls his Chris knife, reverses it, and without even looking, just kind of shoves it in the guy's ear.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make you roll at this point because he's pinned, he's held, he's got a knife in his guts, he's got someone sawing at the back of his head.
Ineffectually.
Effectively, I mean, you get there eventually. There's blood everywhere. It's a bleeder. It's a head wound.
Serac says,
"Yeah, Serac,
Xavier and Tolani, thank you for holding him still for me."
I loosened it for you.
Well struck, Knight.
Are you lowering their bodies to the floor or taking them in with you?
Taking them in with us. So basically roll into the room and push them off to the side and then move in.
Okay, so you walk into this room and it is somewhere between a hospital room and a lab. And you can see that the arrangement is similar to how the science labs were in the previous location, where you've got the 2 glass-fronted labs with a narrow corridor down the middle of them. In one of the labs, you can see that there is Shadi, the Reverend Mother, and she is attached to a hospital bed and some machinery and strapped down so that she can't move. In the room with her, you can see a guild man and some kind of scientist or doctor. In the room opposite, there are some very strange looking bubbling vats and machines and containers and bottles that have got what looks initially like just small blobs of flesh growing in them. But you realize as you move further into the corridor that those blobs of flesh are human embryos.
An abomination.
Have we heard of axolotl tanks?
Cloning some Bene Gesserit genes.
Okay, fair enough.
Be a truth and understand roll if you think you have heard of it, but it'd be quite a difficult one. I'd be looking for like 4 successes.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Because none of you have really got a science background.
No, Serac would just believe that it's some kind of horrible foreign sorcery that needs to be destroyed.
Oh yeah, we're going to burn this whole place down, so that's cool. We need to go murder those people and get her out of the straps first.
So you've got these glass-fronted doors. They've got the same kinds of locks that you saw before. Inside the hospital bedroom, the scientist and the guildsman see you come in and dump their guards on the floor. The scientist looks worried. The guildsman less so. And he kind of looks you over.
I press the nuclear bomb to the window.
Subtlety is not those guys' forte.
The guildsman takes a microphone out of his pocket. Yes?
Come outside.
I think not. In here, I'm protected and I have a hostage. Out there, you will kill me and drink my blood or whatever it is you barbarian savages do.
Xavier, can you open this door as you did the others?
Yes, let's give it a go.
If you make us come in there for you, I guarantee your death. If you come out, there's a chance you'll walk away from this place and into the desert.
Come now, sir, we are men of action. Lies do not suit us.
I'm not lying to you. If you can survive the desert, you may live.
After the things I've done to your people, there's no way you'll let me survive.
And he admits it.
I'm gonna look at Xavier if he's hacking the door.
Yeah, what's the role?
It's a
so go on.
truth and communicate, I think.
6 and 6.
Take a momentum.
Yes, please. Oh.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't know if that's a 20 or a 1. Hold on. That's a 20.
Oh, a complication.
1 success.
Did you get a 20 as well, though?
Sorry?
Was there a 1 success and a 20?
There was 1 success and a 20.
Okay, because a 20 means a complication arises in what you're doing.
Okay.
So yes, you've set up the hack and you're starting to like tap away at this door to try and get your way through. And he sees what you're doing. He's like,
Give us Hanan
you're welcome to him.
and step away.
He's down the corridor. He's not in here. He's in his office.
We will take our Reverend Mother with us and destroy the abominations you are cooking up here.
The amount of work I put into this, I'm afraid I can't let you do that. You're welcome to her, though.
Then open the door.
Is there a guildsman language?
There's probably a level of innuendo that you can apply that means you understand each other in a sort of semi-secret way.
Don't you have to have one of those big microphones to talk
Yeah.
into? Like in the
And what is it you hope to achieve here?
Well, I was hoping to achieve an increase in spice trade, but
From who?
these Jackarutu, the smugglers, either or. However, I've had a better offer, so I think I might just take them up on that. Now, if you are trying to hack your way through the door, you might want to be quick about it. And he reaches down and he unplugs something from the Reverend Mother's bed, and a little trickle of blood dribbles out onto the floor. I'd estimate you have maybe 2 minutes. And he walks over to one of the walls and spend a point of threat, please, Pete.
No.
Fuck you.
Toggles a panel and the wall rotates around. The scientist who's in there with him goes running over after him to get to the door and starts hammering on that same toggle to try and get it to open, but it won't open a second time. So the guildsman has vanished into the wall and the scientist is in there and he's crapping himself.
Save her and open this door if you want to live.
I can only do one. Which one?
Save her life.
Save her. Can I get another attempt?
You can have another go.
Don't break it. Just he can save her and then
That's
he
what
can
grenades are
open the
for.
door.
1 success. No complications.
Okay, you finish the hack just as he's carefully plugging this little pipe back into her arm.
Okay.
And he sort of steps back as the door opens and puts his hands up, backs up against the wall.
Go rushing in to check on the Reverend Mother.
I'm going to pull out my knife and
Sorak, get him to open the Vault of Abominations.
Yes, Naib.
Can we ask him what he was doing first before we?
Oh no, I'm not saying kill him. Just get him to open the door across the way. How is the Reverend Mother?
Her eyes are kind of furious looking as she looks out from she's got a mouth cover on so that she can't use the voice. And she's strapped almost crosswise into the bed. So both of her arms are stretched out. Both of her legs are stretched out. She's covered by the bare minimum of fabric to preserve her dignity. but there is heavy chunks of metal strapping her down to the bed at wrists, at shoulders, ankles, thighs, waist, and neck. So she's definitely plugged into this thing, and it looks like some of those collars and cuffs and things have also got some kind of medical apparatus on the inside of them.
Okay, maybe I won't go smashing all the cuffs,
which are attached into her body in some way.
I'll look at the scientist then. You free her of these restraints alive.
He very, very carefully and shaking makes his way over to the cuffs, and he says, "Forgive me, the guildsman has taken the control panel. I can do it, but it will take longer." And he starts pushing buttons on a console. Serac, you notice that a panel in the opposite lab swings around, and the guildsman walks out of there. He sees you looking at him, tips you a little salute, pulls out a cylindrical container, smoke billowing down the side of it, that's got what looks to be a human fetus inside, plugs it into a carry case, locks it in place, picks up the case, goes to the opposite wall, messes with another toggle, and walks into that wall.
Before he walks into that wall,
before
he walks into that wall, Serac would walk up, so he's just like right on the other side of it, and just say to him, whether or not he can hear him at all, "I will hunt you down. I do not care if I have to leave Arrakis to find you. I will eliminate you and everyone who helped you in this. That is my oath."
"Best of luck," he says.
That guy is nearly not scared enough.
Definitely not.
And disappears back into the wall again.
I mean,
meanwhile, the scientist...
Where's he going to go, though? Where's he going to go? To the hangar
bay?
To get
maybe,
anything?
Yeah.
Why don't we just go and blow up the ships in the hangar bay quickly? Hand grenades.
So the scientist has managed to unlock the arms and neck restraints on the Reverend Mother.
Okay.
And she sort of sluggishly brings her arm up and starts sort of pulling at the mouth guard thing.
Can I get the mouth guard off her? Yeah.
It looks like it's got a bit inside it as well, so that she couldn't even chew through it. And you pull that off, and she sort of stretches her mouth and croaks out,
Reverend Mother.
"Water."
I'll pull the tube from my still suit and stick it in her mouth.
So she takes a drink, and then she sort of rolls around and looks at this science guy and says, "Release me," to him in a way that you know will brook absolutely no dissension. And the guy kind of glazes over a little bit and starts working a little bit faster and more efficient. It looks like his fear has temporarily subsided, and he's working calmly and effectively.
Serac at this point is just basically guarding the door, assuming that this guildman has alerted potentially other enemies. We may need to be ready to fight our way out of this room.
He may not have. He may be up for us killing everybody else and him getting away undetected.
Maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
Seems like a slimy scuzzbucket. So
maybe.
Especially as he said he had a better offer. Is there any way to ascertain from our view into the other lab what the experiments were?
It was definitely something to do with babies.
They're taking her blood out and they're extracting stuff from
Specifically
her.
from
and in the room over the way, they're making babies.
Yeah, it looks like they've been doing some kind of genetic research on her. It's possibly cloning of some kind, some form of genetic research, definitely. It all looks a little bit Tleilactu.
Well, we've seen one here.
as soon as the Reverend Mother is, released, carefully see how mobile she is.
She gets down off the bed really carefully and gingerly, but is kind of propped up against the bed. She's not going to be traveling anywhere very far or very quickly. And she has no still suit, just like a bit of paper covering her.
Sure. Well, is the bed got a sheet on it? Can I take that off and wrap it around her?
No, there's no sheet. There is literally paper on the bed.
Tell the scientist, strip your clothes off and give them to the Reverend Mother.
He does as you bid him.
This is weird. I'll think in my head.
He's basically wearing sort of paper pajamas and a lab coat himself.
Sure.
So it's not exactly the most hard wearing of outfits.
Does he have a
it's
little
better
heart
than
plug?
Nothing. He doesn't have a heart plug. No, it's not that bad. Where did they even come from?
David Lynch.
Same place as the weirding modules, I imagine.
Yeah.
Even his name is a killing word.
So good. Right, we need to get you from this dark place. Foul things are afoot here, and we must raise it to the ground and escape. Foom is waiting for us. The Sietch will be rebuilt.
The young ones survived.
And the Sidina.
Good. Then it was not in vain. They were interested in me and in Foom more than the rest of our people.
Foom.
Are you two related?
Distantly.
Foom is the son of an outlander.
Foom's father was an off-worlder, as was mine.
Well, maybe we should have a word with Foom when we get back to the Thopter.
But it wasn't the same outlander.
No. I believe Foom's father worked for one of the nephews or cousins of my father, something like that. Neither of us knew our off-world parents. We were raised by the Sietch.
A cousin or relative of your father
is who Foom's father worked for.
So it was the same sort of family.
Yes, the Dargouche.
The Dargouche. So
never heard of it.
They're an off-world house, a minor house. Nothing particularly big or spectacular, but they came here years ago.
Was that the house of that scientist earlier on, Sirac? Was that?
There was he said he was from House Von Meer.
Who Dargouche?
They are enemies.
Foom had said Dargouche was enemies with.
Well, perhaps this goes back to an old feud then. And we've simply been pulled into the middle.
I think are closely allied to the Tleilaxu, which would explain their research.
Once again, we are used as pawns in the game between the houses. We must destroy this place and leave.
Yes.
As you will, Naib. Do we go after Hanan personally, or do you want to simply blow this place?
We know that there's another base of operations.
I think Hanan may know where that other base is. So perhaps we should have a word with this smuggler.
I think the man Lucerne would also know where it is.
Unfortunately, he has departed.
But there is one other, Kinam. The three of them seem to be the leaders here. Lucerne was the guildsman. Hanan is the smuggler, and Kinam was the cast out, the leader of the cast out here. Not their Naib, but like a cast out for Daikin.
Right.
And shall we take the Reverend Mother up so that she can be with Foom and the other that we have rescued, or do we proceed?
Hanan is just upstairs, isn't he? You need to go back through the building up the other side. Maybe we should make sure she is safe first.
Anyway, we think that we can get into
for
these.
Foom. Get him to come and collect me. You must pursue these men who have done this.
Xavier,
Just do not destroy the base until we are clear.
Do we have radios or something? Are there intercoms in the building? Can we use the system to?
I would imagine that you'd have a radio. It seems a bit harsh.
Radio waves might disturb worms or something. You never know.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You know.
No, isn't there a thing about one of the moons affecting the
moon's
effect comms of the planet?
Comms,
yeah, that's true. So yeah, no internet. It's good. It's like no internet. That's too much technology.
Aladi, I will move quickly through the building and bring Foom back, and then he can escort the Reverend Mother as we proceed, if you will it.
I do.
So Sirach just takes off, going back the way winding his way back through the building to get to Foom.
We want to get into that lab. Is there any way I can try and gain access to the secret door? Or is there just no?
Yeah, of course you can. You can try the secret door, or you can try the main door to that lab.
I'll try the main
It's got
door.
a door in the corridor, same as this one had.
Oh, okay, I'll do that.
It's again, it's 2 successes to hack the lock. But you're getting a bit better at it now.
That's weird. 2 3s.
Is that just successes, or are they criticals?
2 successes, not criticals. Okay.
Yeah, you're starting to get a hang for these doors now. So you fiddle with it a bit. You pop the wires. The door pops open.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find some notes or a data terminal or something that might tell me some more specifics on the kind of experiments that they were doing here.
Are there loads?
The Reverend Mother comes in as well.
Are there loads of embryos in containers? Is that?
Yeah, they start off from things that look like little tiny cell bundles, right the way up to a few that are several weeks along. And there are 2 larger containers at the end, one of which Lucerne took away with him.
Right. And the other one?
The other one, again, it's a freezer container, this one, so it's closed and locked. But you can unlock it and pull it, and there is what looks to be about an 8-month developed fetus inside. Recognizably human. A baby girl.
Are these activities against the concordance of the Balahiri Jihad?
No. They skirt the edges.
If I gather evidence here, do I feel it's something that I can hold over this guy at a later date?
More the fact that he was prepared to pursue this over
spice.
The spice mission that he was given.
I'll do that then.
Can I just burn everything in the room?
Yeah. As soon as I'll rapidly try and pick up some notes as he's about to light the room
doing that.
up.
You know, in Die Hard, where the guy's like cutting the wires carefully. He comes in and just goes. That's going to be what's going on. I'm dousing petrol.
The Reverend Mother has very much got that Ripley in Alien Resurrection face on.
Oh dear.
But she points at the 8-month one and says, "We cannot harm that one.
Can we revive it?
We will give it a chance.
I will set that by the door."
We will give her a chance.
Arrakis will give her one chance. Very well.
So while you're trashing the room and Dan is rifling through pads and tablets and stuff looking for evidence.
If he puts it down, it gets smashed.
He realizes that after about 3 pads and stops putting them down anymore. A laddie not laddie, you're a laddie. Serac comes back with Foom. And somehow a wheelchair.
Foom was the resourceful one here. I explained what was happening, and he managed to find this. He's a young man of talent. I've explained to him what needs to be done for the Reverend Mother, and he is willing to take her care as his primary mission.
She sits in the wheelchair and kind of cradles this clone vat container thing. And he takes off down the corridor, blaster carbine rattling at his hip.
Shall we finish what we have begun, my friends? He says friends very specifically and looks at Xavier.
Xavier perks up a little bit. Oh, he called me friend.
Threaten me.
Oh, let us be about it.
Indeed.
Nuke in one hand, Chris knife in the other.
So from this corridor, you come out and you go back down the wooden paneled hallway, turn into another one. There appears to be some kind of general evacuation order sounding. So there are lots of footsteps coming from downstairs more than they are from up here.
Where the lieutenants were hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is one last suite on this floor that you have not yet investigated. Big double doors.
I think we should go knock on the door, and then go in.
As you will it, Naib.
So
funnily enough, there's no answer when you knock on the door.
It's kind of like a punch knock, you know. It's like a we're coming in kind of thing, and yeah. And then just go in.
As you open the door, you get a brief glimpse of a large, well-appointed office lounge type room. There was a huge desk carved out of a massive chunk of sandstone at one end of the room, but it's been upended and turned into a barricade. And behind it, there is a fusillade. Lots of shots from blaster carbines that just come pouring into the doorway. I'm going to let you make a power and move roll to throw yourselves out of the way.
It's going to be tough. Dear. My move is down to 5 after my injuries from last week.
My move is down to 2.
Power is my lowest stat. So,
this is where I kill them all by accident. Then.
Yeah. Target number 9.
What did you say it was? Power and move.
Yeah.
Target number 6.
Ooh.
Can I have that momentum? Does anyone mind if I use that momentum?
Remember, you can also give me threat if you really need extra dice.
That's okay.
Fuck you. Not with all those guys behind that table. One of them will chuck a grenade out and it'll land between my legs.
I'm doing okay. Move is one of my better ones.
I got a 7 and a 16, so 1 success.
I got a 2, a 16, and a 20.
Oh, crikey!
I got 2 successes.
Right, so you throw yourselves behind the doors.
Got some more momentum.
Shots ringing out all around you. One of the doors comes off its hinges and pins a laddie underneath it. It's a great big heavy fake wood door, and it's got him pinned underneath it, so he's safe from being shot, but at the same time he's not going anywhere because there's a door on him that's going to require other people to help table flip.
A nuke could blow that off, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But the other two of you are behind the other door, which is more intact. The top is kind of bent in slightly, but it's stayed on its hinges.
Do you got a grenade, Xavier? Because I don't.
How many?
This is the one I was saving for a special occasion in case I got betrayed. But yeah, Xavier will kind of pat himself down and then pull out a grenade a little bit sheepishly.
Yes, as it turns out, he does have a grenade.
And
he was keeping it in case
Where
you
did you
betrayed
get
him.
that from?
He's had it all along.
You pinched it out of the
It was
stash,
his
didn't
insurance.
you? Yeah, that was cool.
Is
Come in
that
handy.
grenade?
Yeah. Yeah. So Rock looks at Xavier and he goes, I know you have a grenade, my friend. It is time to throw it.
So yeah, he sheepishly produces this grenade, hands it over because I'm probably not very good with it. There you go.
So Sirach pulls the pin, milks it for a second, chucks it right behind the desk, giving it all about a 2-second toss, so it blows about a foot above the ground right behind the desk.
Okay, let's have a power and battle roll.
Okay. Can I take one of those momentums, gentlemen? So power and battle for me, that is a target number of 12. A 12, a 6, and a 14. So that's 3 successes.
So the grenade sails over the counter. Because most of these guys are shooting from around the sides rather than over the top. You've actually got this almost little goalpost arrangement of baddies to throw it between. And they see it coming in. And a few of them try and dodge out of the way of the table, get around the other side of the table, which then exposes them to anybody who wanted to shoot them from the other side. And the grenade goes off behind the table with this sort of flat...
Can I try and shoot them in the crossfire?
And a puff of smoke. And what was that, Dan?
I will try and shoot at whoever jumps out.
Okay, shoot away.
Crouching behind the Fremen with my rifle. What would that be?
Battle and
justice battle, duty battle.
Duty battle, please.
I'll take a duty battle, please, Bob.
1 success, which is a 1.
Oh, that's 2 successes, isn't it?
2
If it's
successes.
a 1,
Yep,
it's always
it
2
is.
successes.
Yep, 2 successes for 1.
So yes, one of them dodges out of the way of the grenade and is tremendously pleased with himself as all the screaming happens behind him, and then you shoot him in the hip. Ah! And he goes down next to the table with the grenade's gone off behind.
And right after Sirach threw the grenade, he unholstered his Mala pistol and he's just waiting. I mean, as soon as a rabbit hops.
Oh, there was another guy that came around the other side.
Yeah. So pistol, so battle, and I think justice still works best for him because this is all about retribution for him. So the target number is 15. Pistol is one of my focuses. Can I take a point of momentum to get a 3rd dice?
They're right there. Go ahead.
A 2, and a 10 for 5 successes.
Okay, you roll. Aaron's not allowed to roll dice anymore.
Well, I am in my good. That's my best target range.
He's in the zone.
So, or almost my best. Yeah, the 15.
So yeah, this other
target
guy rabbits around the side of the table to avoid the grenade. Also tremendously pleased with himself for not being blown up. And you punch a hole through the side of his head with a Mauler pistol. And he kind of slams into the table on this side, leaves a little blood splatter on the table, and then slides to the ground. So you've got one guy clutching at his leg, hip, screaming, a smoking pile of dead people behind the table, and then this other guy on the floor. And then you've got a laddie who's stuck under a door.
Some excellent bit of violence there, gentlemen.
I was distracting them.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not like he's laying on a pressure-sensitive nuclear device or anything.
Exactly. Sirach looks over at Xavier. He's like, I find guns distasteful, but I never said I didn't know how to use them.
Xavier's slightly worried that this gentleman seems to be able to kill with anything that he's holding.
I find food blenders distasteful.
Does
little help?
Bend over and
I'm going to try and bench press the door, but it's not going to happen.
As long as you've got the other two helping, the door will lift. Because it's more
fake wooden door is made out of metal.
Yeah, it is lined with metal. It's a secure door.
After Lottie's free, we go over and see this one remaining guy who's alive with the hip wound.
Again, he looks cast out.
Okay.
These guys all look like they're dressed Fremen style. They have a very Fremen look to them and about them, but they've also got this like, what would happen if the Fremen were pretending to be smugglers vibe.
Where is Kinam and Hanan?
They've gone to the other place. They've gone to the sand base, the salt base.
Where is the salt base?
I don't know. We would fly for 4 hours into the salt flat, and it was there.
Do you know at what heading you flew?
I don't. It's not our place to know that. Only Hanan and Kinam have that information, and the Gilder. He said you were coming. We stayed behind.
And where did he go?
They went that way, and he points out through what looks like the bar area of this little suite.
And you are sure you do not know where this other base is? All right, Chris knife in the right eye. I suggest we follow Lucerne.
As you Chris knife him in the right eye, you notice that he was fiddling round and had a grenade in his hand and his thumb in the pin. And he was about 1 second away from pulling the pin on it when you stabbed him in the eye. I was literally about to describe that, and you Chris knifed him in the eye.
Sirach gently pulls a grenade away and hands it over to Xavier. I have a new one for you.
Xavier takes it gingerly.
Shall we try to pursue this Lucerne?
Yes.
So you go into the bar area. There's a bar and a bedroom.
So as we're running past the bar, Xavier will quickly grab the strongest alcohol bottle he can find.
It's good
and
stuff.
Sticks it out of his cloak.
This guy's got great booze. What you would think would be the most expensive one would be a bottle of spice liqueur. Although on Arrakis, this stuff's really quite common.
Only drink that back at the Sietch. Do not drink that when we're out on the sand. Only a fool consumes alcohol when he is under the sun of Arrakis.
Inside the bedroom, there are 2 terrified-looking village women in their underwear and makeup, just kind of hiding behind the bed with about this much of them showing from in front, but there are mirrors on the far wall so you can see where they are. They kind of scream when you run past the room. Unless you're going in, they aren't coming out either. And you come to a big steel.
As they were running past, Sirach would probably yell in, if you are loyal people of Arrakis, make your way out of here. This place will no longer exist soon.
I think everybody in the building is a guilty fucker and they're going to die in a fiery inferno. So, although I'm tempted to keep the nuke to drop on their base in the sand, but I think we're going to go and take them out one-on-one. So,
yeah, big steel bulkhead. Looks completely out of place in the rest of this corridor. Mm-hmm. There's an open door with this steel bulkhead behind it, and there's fresh sand on the floor just inside this corridor, and it feels slightly warmer in this bit of the complex.
So it's like open to the outside, and they can get up to a private.
But it's not anymore. It's
Sure.
sealed
Yeah,
off
yeah,
now.
yeah. But it was, and they could
Yeah.
get to like
They've clearly
a
opened the
thopter
door
or
or
something.
something.
Yeah. I feel they have
Xavier.
departed.
Xavier, can you get this blast door open?
Oh, it's Han Solo time.
I will try. Do we have any momentum left?
We have one.
We've got one. Yep.
I think I'll be using that. Yo.
Another one.
Yeah, a second door closes across it.
That'll be a no.
They have fled like true cowards. We must get to our thopter, and I'll look at the nuke now. What do they call it? A stone burner. The stone burner. This has no timer. Xavier, can you? And I'll hold up the las gun. I'll say, can you rig this to overload? Slowly.
So it will activate the nuke. Do I think it would actually need that kind of energy reaction to actually trigger?
It won't need the energy
No,
reaction
but
to trigger it.
We don't have a timer. At the
you don't
moment,
have a
my option
timer.
is hit it really hard,
It's a pressure switch.
and that means I have to stay behind.
I see.
Or
Yeah, so
someone
if we-
else who
But
really
if
wants
you
to
had
prove
something
themselves.
like that acted as a
Shock off.
timer,
Yeah, if we had a timer or something, and I'm not trusting anyone else in the building to give me a timer. Is that
No, I
possible?
think you're right. Yeah, jury rig the
Or
pressure
a thopter
switch
or
with
something to blow. Can we rig something to blow with this nuke in the middle of it? That would set a nuke off, surely.
Well, as long as it activated or deactivated the
panel.
pressure panel, then yes. Otherwise, no. I mean, you could literally drop a cluster bomb on a nuke, and you're not going to get it to explode. You're going to get a lot of radioactive material all over
But
the
we could
place.
set up some sort of something to press against it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as we activate
So
the
when the
pressure
explosion
plate.
goes, it goes.
Yes.
so yes, you can jury rig something that will press a pressure switch, Dan. But the accuracy of how much time you could just jury rig it.
Yeah.
But
I'll
I've
do
got
that.
a point of threat, and you've got no momentum left. So you're going to need some successes in order to make sure that you've got at least one unit of time to escape in. I'm not specifying the unit.
Okay.
I would volunteer to aid you, but I'm terrible in all of this. I don't think I would successfully aid you in
What
any
would
way.
we be rolling? Understand and
Probably communicate,
communicate.
to be fair.
Communicate and truth. Communicate and
and
power.
truth.
I don't know about truth. I don't think truth
No.
particularly
Faith.
works.
Power.
I mean, faith
Communicate.
isn't the worst choice, but again, it's a technology thing, so it's probably not
No.
something that
Is it understand? Oh God, I hope not.
No, it's communicate.
it's
I
communicate
can do.
on that
Communicate.
side, and then I
Power.
think
Power.
Power's good.
power. Yeah, power. You could do power. You're brute forcing it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
That would give me a target number of 8.
Me a target number 13.
10.
Hey, we just picked up 3 points of momentum.
Oh, wow.
I'll have one of those. Thank you very much. Who was that from?
Narden Zeka and Lowen and
Shadrow.
Shadrow.
Oh, thank you all. I think I need that. Right. Okay. So I will steal one of those points of momentum. 5. God, fuck this dice, man. 19 and a 12. That's 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, so you have at least 2 units of time in which to escape.
What the time is, we don't know.
Yeah. It's a quick and dirty fix. It's not going to take hours. It's not going to take minutes. You
Everybody
figure
run.
you've got somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes.
Move out and draw fire. Sirach is already moving. He's like, let's go, Naib.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will just say a little prayer to Mahdi before we go.
Are we going back through the big expensive office to get out?
Yes, you have to.
Okay. Do I see anything, any chests or lockboxes or anything like that as we're making a move?
Yes, behind where the desk was, where the explosions happened, there is a huge, like sea chest sized lockbox, which has been blown open. And inside you can see that there are loose Solaris, there's spice, some of which has been cooked off a little bit, giving the air that very spicy smell.
Spice is what I'm after. I will grab what I can.
I mean, you could comfortably grab a couple of small sacks, like 1 or 2 kilo sacks of spice on your way past.
That's what I'll do.
So a kilo of spice in each hand, bottle of booze under your arm.
Don't come out of this empty-handed. I've got people to report to.
There's a ledger in there as well. Do you want that too?
Yeah, that could be handy. Have that in my teeth.
So you run back through the building. How mean am I?
Mean enough to use point of threat?
That's what I'm thinking.
Take yourself down to 0 before we move on. I like the plan.
Yeah, go
That's
for it.
also true. I would be reducing my threat to 0 if I do that.
Mm.
So I won't do that. No, I'm going to save that for a special occasion. You run back through the building. I'm assuming you're not going through the beetle-infested corridors.
No.
No, we
Might
need the
avoid
quickest
that.
route to the Thopter.
So you kind of go down, along, and up again to come out in the Thopter Bay. Fooms managed to get the Reverend Mother into the Thopter. That kid who was with you, who I've realized was actually the person called Kinam and not one of the bad guys. But that's okay. He can be Kinam, who's related to Kinam.
Kinam could end up being like the John of Arrakis.
Could be.
They're everywhere.
So there are 2 Kinams. And when you realize that Kinam is the name of the kid and also the name of the cast out, that's going to make you look him.
Push him out the Thopter and move it there.
It's rough, but the name says so. The name says so.
Hold on, sorry. What happened to the tank with the not fetus in it?
The Reverend Mother
on
had
the
that.
Reverend
Reverend
Mother's
Mother.
lap
Okay,
in the
yeah,
wheelchair.
thank you.
Yep.
So the Reverend Mother and Foom and Amawat and Jadir and Kinam the Younger are in the Thopter. It's going to be really heavily laden. It's time to throw things out the back door.
It's not like we're trying to get away or anything. Quickly.
Throw the chairs out.
Yep.
Yeah. Sirach just immediately starts stripping it of everything.
And
non-essential.
throw the wheelchair out. Sorry, Reverend Mother. That's going.
Yep.
Foom's got it all powered up and is sat in the co-pilot's chair.
Yeah, better not be sat in my pilot's chair.
There isn't a pilot chair left. We threw it out.
It's got
I don't need one. I can do it standing.
There's just a spike.
2 spikes would be an extravagance.
It's a spike that sat in a bucket.
I'll make sure I do all the pre-flight checks and prep while people are throwing things out.
I did them, says Foom.
It's not that I don't trust him. It's just I don't trust him.
Yeah, any like carbines or crap like that we had.
We had a whole
All the
bag of
spare
guns.
crap.
That's got to
You
go.
know.
All of it out.
Yep.
So
Right,
you lift off, and as you're about to fly out of the entrance, there's a sort of sound behind you, and then a shock wave that sort of throws you out of this landing bay. And looking out, you can see the entire base behind you collapsing in on itself, and a massive explosion tearing this entire cliffside apart.
Go, go, go.
We have done
Dan,
good work
let's have
this day.
I'm really good at flying move.
This is the thing I do. So
Feel free to take a point of momentum to not
I
kill us
feel I
all.
will.
Duty and move for you, isn't it?
Duty and move is the mega one, if that's okay.
Yeah. Is the most appropriate.
Okay. 1,
Nice.
10, and a 13. Now I've got one, but I've also got pilot ornithopter, so that does something as well, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that just
What's your move?
My move is 8.
Yeah. So
you
anything
got a
under
10
8
and a
would be a
13.
critical.
So the 1 is 2 successes.
Okay.
The 10 and the 13 are still successes. So
Okay.
you've got 4 successes.
That'll do.
So you know that the best thing to do in this circumstance is actually to go high. So you throw it up into the air in a steep climb.
Everyone
And
brace
the
for the
ornithop-
G's.
Bless the maker and his
rips
water. Bless
itself
the
up.
coming and going of him. May his passage cleanse the world. May he keep the
Rattling.
world for his people.
Big cloud of
Adib.
sand below you. There's secondary explosions happening in that carryall because it was parked right next door to the cliff, and big chunks of rock are flaming down on it, causing explosions there as well.
Sirach is turning green and doing everything in his power not to vomit. And not to look like he's about to vomit.
You're going to hurl into this. Still cup.
There's a
I see you
look
pull
of
yourself
ecstatic
up,
religious
up.
euphoria on my face.
Into the sky of
That's
Arrakis.
not disconcerting at all. Yeah.
Below you, you see this L-shaped plateau shrink down until it's tiny, tiny little thing. You can see the explosion spreading out in a circle from the junction of the short arm and the long arm. By the time the explosion's cleared, all that's left behind is one sort of rocky promontory out where the landing bay was, and the trashed remains of carryall. Incidentally, I really liked the balloon carryalls.
Oh yeah.
In the Dune film. I thought that was a cool, because I'd always pictured them as like really, really fuck off massive ornithopter style things. So having them be hot air balloons was brilliant.
That was cool. Xavier, can you see any other thopters in the air? Anyone else who may have escaped?
So I assume at this point we're kind of like that. So I'll sort of
You sort of
Level
level
her
it
out.
out a little bit. And everybody takes a look outside. Let's have a truth and understand to see what we can see.
Oh,
That's a big 9 target number for me.
does desert navigation count as a right focus? Yeah. In which case, I've got 2 successes.
that's a big no from me.
I got a 2 and a 20.
Oh.
So 1 success, 1 complication.
The complication is that as he throws it into this recovering power slide, you do throw up.
All over Xavier's back.
This is not what the Fremen were designed for.
That's a great gift. He just gave him a lot of his water.
Yeah.
Thank you for the gift of your body's water. It's all down my t-shirt. Aladi, you see two things. First thing that you see,
the glorious destruction.
Well, the glorious destruction everybody can see because it's kind of glorious. You see worm sign heading towards this area. Now, this is right on the fringes of the salt flats. So obviously this much repetitious banging on the ground has attracted a worm. It looks like a big one.
Childhood.
And you also see the rest of the salt flats heading out behind you. So if there's something out there, it's going to be in the opposite direction.
Right. I will turn Xavier's head that way.
Without touching the back of his head.
Should we? Yeah. I think we just need to go and sort this out, don't we? They're going to sod off and get off planet or something.
Yes.
I'd like to take the Reverend Mother back, but we cannot spare the time.
We must proceed.
Deeper into the salt flats we go.
So you head deeper into the salt flats, the Thopter, because you landed at night, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You've been running around inside that place for a while. So dawn starts to break after a few hours of flight.
They said 4 hours, didn't they?
Yeah. Let's have another truth and understanding. We'll see what we can see/detect.
See if I vomit again on Xavier.
Anyone mind if I use a point of momentum for this one?
Go for it.
What am I rolling for?
To see what you can see, CC.
Okay, Ben, I got a 1 and a 12. So 2 successes for me.
Excellent.
That's still a no from me.
I got 2 successes as well.
Okay, well, the two Fremen, eyes on a swivel. Xavier's concentrating on flying. He's letting you take care of the navigating. You both see the light of the rising sun glint off of something in the salt flats. Now, it's not the same as the light glinting off the salt flats itself. That has a certain quality to it, like a little slightly orange bounce through the spice-infused air. But you can see something glinting down in the sand that looks like it's an artificial thing, something constructed.
Xavier, there in the salt flats. We must see what that is.
They're pointing at
something and take it low.
That looks like a bunker on the sand. Not a very big one either. We're talking like 2 porter cabins sized bunker, like a tiny little thing.
There must be some underground facility.
Or perhaps a way station.
Perhaps. Refuel.
Yeah, I'll bank it, take it low, and then kind of swoop around it to get a closer view before we land.
Yeah, it's a prefab storage, temporary building kind of thing. The sort of place that you might build for someone to sit in while they built something else. Just sat on the sand in the middle of the salt flats. See, the salt flats, you've got much less risk of worms. So they clearly aren't that bothered about having a structure out here. Ballsy, very ballsy for Arrakis. But no one's going to come out here because it's the salt flats. There's no spice out here. There's no worms out here. Why would you?
Ballsy or naive?
Little column A, little column B. Who knows?
Should I take her on to land? What do you want to do?
Are you going to land close? Are you going to land far away and schlep it there?
I'm waiting for Fremen.
A short schlep, because we don't want them. We don't land right near it and someone sneak in and murder the Reverend Mother. So,
okay, short schlep.
And we roll out and tell Alawat and Jadir and Foom to protect the Reverend Mother.
They nod. The Alawat and Jadir have both got blaster carbines that they salvaged from your bag of guns from earlier. Foom's prepared to seal up the Thopter and pull the camouflage cover over it to hide it as best he can. And so the three of you step out onto the sand, and it's weird. This is alien ground in many ways because the ground crunches underfoot. There's this almost thick layer of hard, salty residue that crunches as you walk across it. The ground here is dry and hard. It's not the sands that you're familiar with. It's much more densely packed. It's closer to drum sand in the way it feels, but it's not making that thumping sound. Very unusual feel to the ground out here in the salt flats for you. Dan, Xavier can't tell the difference. I am on the ground. But for the Fremen, the feel of sand is something. They have like 86 different words for sand, kind of thing. And this is not something either of them have ever truly experienced before, so it feels very odd.
I'll step on it and go 87.
So you approach this little prefab building, and it is little more than a shack. It's two squat rectangular structures that appear to be stuck together. There is a door on one side with a glass window in it that you think might have been what the sunlight was glinting off of. This doesn't look like something that belongs on Arrakis. This looks like something you would expect to find on another world.
Okay. Can we get a glance in the window and see if there's 10 guys hiding behind a sandstone desk?
Looking through the window, there appears to be no one inside. It looks like some kind of office, but again, nothing like you've ever seen. This isn't the ostentatious offices of the houses or the great and powerful. This is little extruder wood, prefab metal leg tables and chairs with cheap data terminals, plastic paneling on the walls.
How secure is the door?
It rattles slightly when you touch it.
I'll just give Serac the nod and then go in.
So Serac, are you pulling the door so that a laddie can go in?
Yeah.
And it almost comes off in your hand. You give it such a yank thinking that you're going to have to pull this door, and it feels flimsy, almost temporary. A laddie, you'd burst into this room. There's also a really ugly couch up against the wall by where you've just come in. Short metal legs, kind of an orange brown color to it. This room appears to be completely empty and completely unused. There's a layer of dust on most surfaces. The data terminals look unused.
I'm checking the floor. I'm looking for we've just seen exhibited many secret doors, and they have a bit of theatre about them, these characters, clearly. So I'm expecting to stand in the middle of the room and press a button on a console, and then we go down into the ground or something. Are any of the buttons look like they've actually been pressed?
Yes, actually. It looks like there is a number pad on one of the data consoles, and 4 of the numbers don't have gust on like the rest of the keys do.
If I put it in the wrong way around, the building explodes. Let's 1 2 3 4 4 3 2 1 2 3 4 1.
I mean, I don't know of any better way to do it unless we can find anything in this office that indicates what the actual passcode is.
I double check the ledger that we nicked.
Yes, you can.
You never know.
I bet.
Yeah, apparently there's only about 10,000 possible combinations.
Yeah, I was going to say, we could be here for a long time.
I'm going at it. Oh, no, I've done that one already.
Zero, 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 one. 0, 0, 0, 2. No, there's not that many because there is only 4 numbers to go with. It's not the combination 0 to 9. So, Dan, you want to try and analyze the book, do you? That's definitely truth and understand.
Oh, damn it.
We've got a momentum if you...
Yeah, do you want momentum? Yep.
Yep, I'm going to need it. Truth and understanding. Oh, crap. 10. Yep. Oh, no, and the momentum. Still no. Nah, sorry, guys.
None.
Can I spend a point of determination to randomly punch in the right number?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to close my eyes.
Take a big, deep huff of some spice.
Deep huff of some spice and ask for some help from he who's seen the future. From the future.
Because in the future, you're going to know this number, aren't you?
Exactly. So
just have this mental image of like a laddie grabbing hold of Paul in like 17 years time and just shouting 4 numbers at him. What?
1, 2, 3, 4. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. And a punch in 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, who'd have that as the combination on their briefcase?
So that's not the keys that have
you know what I mean.
The dust missing. But yeah, you spend your point of determination and you punch the numbers in, trusting to your faith and your belief that the future needs for you to know this combination.
Absolutely.
And there is a click. And the floor jerks ever so slightly. And the entire floor starts to sink underground. And as it does, you can see straight away that there's a metal superstructure around the base of the building, and that this is some kind of very large elevator that is sinking downwards.
Weapons. Cover. Are there like desks on this?
Filing cabinets, desks, that
cool.
ugly sofa.
Right. Yep. Ready for battle.
Yeah, I got the Mala pistol in one hand, the Chris knife in the other.
Fremen.
Crouched down, ready to spring.
Eventually, the building comes to rest. Building, elevator, floor comes to rest about 2 floors below the ground, you reckon? Dan, you recognize, not so much recognize as in you can tell exactly what kind it is, but the corridor arrangement here is reminiscent of a spaceship. This is like you've come down into a ship. It's got the tight, narrow corridors.
So
like
he'll be looking around like...
This feels very much like one of the older models of guild cargo ships that they used to ferry stuff up and down to highlands.
Yeah. He'll start kind of putting his ear to the floor and tapping on the ground and see if he can hear, You
can't hear the engines running. At least not as though you were in motion. But there's definitely power down here because there are the lights.
I can feel the hum
in the ceiling. It's very relaxed, like a low power. Yeah. So you believe that you're in an old cargo transport.
We're on a spaceship.
Beneath the sands?
Buried.
Your people.
Perhaps this is an older type guild transport vessel. They don't use them anymore.
Where would we go to find those we seek in a vessel such as you describe?
I would say that they'd probably be on the bridge.
So yeah, you've got a fairly good idea of
that way.
The structure and layout of these sorts of ships. They've got large cargo holds. They've got rooms for people to sleep in. There's a bridge. It thinks little more than a flying container ship, but it can hold dozens of containers. So it's got this huge open space in it that could be modularized quite comfortably, designed to hold containers. So it's probably about the size of a small cargo ship. So there could be a lot of space here, but most of it is going to be cargo hold. And then you've got living quarters and the bridge. Yeah.
Cargo hold full of stuff.
And actually, that would mean that this floor that you've just come down on is a cargo elevator.
If they'll be anywhere, they'll be on the bridge.
Can you lead us there?
Let's go.
And
How many enemy fighters might they have on a ship like this?
single thing to fly.
However, how many angels can dance on the head of a pin? You know, it depends on what they've done. I mean, if they've stuffed the cargo hold with troops, this thing could hold a legion of the Emperor's Sardaukar.
This is a cargo ship. It could be stuffed full of brim with troops.
Yeah, Sirach is just so far out of his depth at this point that he's just like,
focus on what you know. I need to kill them. We have a holy mission, Sirach, and Xavier is here to guide us.
Yes, yes.
Focus on the dungeon, not the dungeon builder.
Then lead on, Xavier. Take us to where our enemies should be.
Xavier leads on, and will guide them to the bridge. Though in the back of his head, he's desperately thinking, "I want to go to the cargo hold. I want to see if I can find any spice."
Right. How do you want to go about doing this? Are you going to be super stealthy? Are you just going to like wander through the corridors?
I think stealth is the option here because they're probably here somewhere. So, yeah, we'll stealth it up.
Do you want to look for disguises or anything? Or are you just going to
like nearby coveralls or ship uniform kind of things?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Or are you going to go full on Solid Snake, put a cardboard box on your head and creep round?
Oh yeah, let's do that. Can we be a filing cabinet together and we're each a separate floor?
3 kobolds in a trench coat.
I think stealth, but I don't think that Sirach would probably look for a disguise.
He doesn't have time.
Yeah, probably wouldn't want to dress up.
We'll go all stealth, but we won't dress up.
Yeah, quietly.
Right, so you're gonna be sneaky quiet rather than stomping and like, waving guns around.
Yeah.
So as you're creeping along, you come across a couple of patrols. They do look like they're off-worlders. You see smugglers guards wandering around. The technicians that are working down here, you see a few of those. They look like guild technicians.
Do they look like they're any kind of urgency, or do they look very kind of laid back?
There doesn't appear to be any kind of urgency. Sorry, not guild technicians. The technicians that are walking around down here have a uniform on, and they've got that little scroll that you saw on the Von Meer guy.
Oh,
did our house Von Meer?
Could be.
Can I?
At least some of them are.
I need to ask a question. But it's possibly science related, which is not my strongest suit. This ship is buried underneath the salt plains, right? And salt would have a big would start jamming up the works on a ship like this, right?
Yeah.
Is there any indication to kind of get, like, if it's start to rust up a bit or...
Well, as you start thinking that,
that kind of thing.
As you start thinking that, all right, how long has this thing been here? Can we work it out? Some of those technicians that you do come across are working on some venting, and they're bringing out chunks of salt, big flat planes of salt from inside a vent, and they're complaining about having to keep the salt off. So they have clearly got people working on keeping the salt from gumming up the works.
Yeah. So they are intending to fly the ship out.
Yeah, I was going to say. So yeah, they're trying to maintain flight
Keep
readiness.
it, yeah. Interesting. Looks like we've got ourselves a spaceship. Right, let's murder everyone inside, and then we'll go. Welcome to Sietch Abbikat.
We can't fly.
We're going to be
right?
having a conversation later about what is a guild property, but we'll leave that for later.
There's two of us.
Yeah, I think I'll be on the wrong end.
And I'm mainly looking at Serac when I say that. Serac counts as two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, we're going to.
Serac and Aladi, it doesn't take long before you guys are pretty much hopelessly lost.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever Xavier's doing, clearly he's in his element and you are very much out of yours. You don't think you've seen this much internal metal ever in your lives, even in having visited the cities. Well, you might not have visited Carthage, probably only visited Arakeen.
Yeah.
It's still stonework for the most part. But this is metal everywhere. The whole thing is made of metal. There's a fortune in metal inside the walls of this structure. And it's really weird and cramped. I mean, you're used to sometimes being cramped because a lot of the pathways and passages in the Sietches can be quite narrow. This is like that, but everything looks the same. It's all regular. It's all the same color. It's all got the same lighting. There's no nuance.
No, it's joyous and wonderful.
Serac puts his hand on Xavier and leans in and he goes, "My friend, I pity you for the hell you've had to live in. This is horrible."
Oh, Xavier bites his lip to not retort and insults the Fremen culture by going, "I live in a hellhole."
So you hear a bigger number of booted feet clomping towards you from down a corridor. They haven't seen you, but in a few seconds they will.
Hide.
So you pop open a panel into a nearby room. And it looks to be some kind of maintenance cupboard more than anything else. There's a couple of buzzing electrical panels on the wall, some buckets and mops stacked up in one corner.
They're janitor's uniforms.
There is a janitor's uniform, yeah.
I might rapidly start to get changed.
Just kind of coveralls, really. You could pull it on over the top of your still suit. Are you peeping out the door?
Oh yeah, I want to get a little bit of an idea of what we're facing.
So, coming down the corridor towards you, there are 6 figures. 2 of them are very definitely smugglers. They've got the look, the swagger, the walk, the semi-Arakeen native look to them. The other 4 seem to be house soldiers of some kind. They're in uniform. They've got matching boots, guns. They look quite disciplined, all shaven-headed.
Are the smugglers having any kind of conversation or anything?
Yes, they are. They're having a conversation between them. And the smugglers are kind of gloating to these house troops about how when they want to, they can go out to the city of Carthage and watch the arena and have some drinks and pick up some spice or get some women. Whereas these house guards, they stay forever on this ship. They never go anywhere. That they hope they're getting paid enough to do this boring job. And then laughing, the 2 smugglers head off and the house guards are slagging them off behind their back. Stupid fucking sand grubbers.
But no names thrown around, no indication of who they were. And I'm assuming we didn't recognize them from
No, you didn't recognize
the other base.
them, no.
What house are the house guards of?
They're Von Meer house guards.
So Von Meer are up to it in it up to their eyeballs.
Fucking Keenam and his chances. Why do we have to work with their scum? We could have taken out that Sietch just as easily as these stupid arseholes.
Well, that's what the house guards say.
Yeah.
How many of them are there?
4. The one who appears to be leading them says, "Stow it. We're here to do a job. We've got the sample.
Okay.
All we need to do is make sure that we can pick up a bit of spice as a bonus, and then we'll be out of here in a day or two. And then, my friends, we will be rich."
Sirach just looks at Aladi like, what do you want me to do?
I think we should take them out, grab the leader, find the sample.
Okay.
So I'll say, "You won't be rich, you'll be dead," and step out. We'll step out.
As soon as Sirach sees that Alade indicates that we're taking these guys, he rolls out quietly and takes the guy in the back, right here under the base of his jaw, so that he can't speak as he twists it up into his brain.
Meanwhile, there's Xavier pulling on a janitor's coverall going, "Guys, I found disguises."
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. He sort of tuts to himself saying, "I could have offered
They
some
just
sort of
mentioned murdering our
distraction,"
Sietch, so it's like, I'm gonna, and I'll be coming out.
So they turn towards
I'm not
Aladi
screaming or
straight
roaring
away.
because I'm not trying to attract other people. I'm
No,
kind of
but you
muttering
stepped
it.
out and you're like,
kind of-
"Going to have you, sunshine."
Yeah, exactly. But Sirach can like.
So they immediately turn to Aladi. So I'll let you go first, Pete. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go for the nearest guy with my
Okay.
Chris knife.
I was going to say guns or knives.
Knives. We've got no momentum.
Fair.
Right. So duty and battle, and 2 successes. That's pretty good.
So yeah, you sort of step forward and slice a blade straight up across the torso of one of these guardsmen. He goes, "Ah!" as this right line of red is drawn across his chest.
I'm going to try and sort of get in close, so we're too close for them to like get their guns out, and start waving them around, and they have to consider close combat,
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're inside a spaceship. They're probably not going to start blasting.
Sure.
So, anyways, they started blasting. Boom, boom, pew, pew. He's then going to try and get. Oh no! Wait, this guy's a scrub, isn't he? He just dies because you stab him.
Okay, cool.
It's only the lieutenant who's got a chance of not being a scrub.
They're like
Not lieutenant,
minions.
sergeant. Yeah, they're like minions. So one hit, 1 kill on a minion.
Yeah.
So that means since he got 2 successes, does that mean we have 1 point of momentum then? Since they're just 1 shot, 1 kill?
No, I don't think so. I think, yeah.
Okay.
Because 2 is still quite low for offing someone completely. And I know they're not major characters, which takes more damage because you have to take out one of their stats to be able to finish them off.
That's cool. I'm happy with that.
No worries. Yep.
But yes,
so
you take out
to generate
one of them.
5 points of momentum.
So I rolled 2 dice. I got 25 successes.
Just 25 though. No, but so Sirach will roll out and he will actually give you a point of threat.
Oh.
Because he's bold in battle.
Yeah, don't say because it means you get a point of momentum back at least.
Yeah,
he always gets a point of momentum back at least for doing this. It's genius.
Every time I use the Chris knife, we get a point of momentum.
Hits.
As long as he hits, yeah. And so with bold battle, if I can re-roll one of these dice.
Nice.
A 4, a 6, and an 18, which I'll re-roll. And get an 8. So 6 successes.
So what's that?
So there you go. That's 4 into momentum and
one
another guard.
And 1.
Sorry?
His special ability gives one
and
momentum.
his special one gets us 5 into momentum in one shot. Given that you have a maximum of 6 that you can bank at any one time.
Yeah, so he just rolls.
He kind of stands up like a shadow behind one of the guards who's behind the sergeant. And his Chris knife silently goes in, wiggles backwards and forwards. You almost feel like you can see it behind his eyes.
Then he just kind of pushes that guy away and spins towards the guys in the front.
Right, let's let. Oh my word! Right, so one of them lashes out towards you with his knife, Pete, and you kind of just swish back out of the way because you're a Fremen and he's a scrub.
Yeah, I do that cartwheel thing that he does in his vision of the future.
The sergeant, however, is built of sterner stuff than that, and he steps in and stabs you, Aaron. Hears his man go down, notices that there's this kerfuffle in front of him.
Don't kill him.
But has this instinct to sort of turn around, and you think he's going to go forwards, so he catches you off guard when he steps back instead and backstabs into you. So please take 3 points of damage to the... Do you know what? I think he might do it to your faith because you weren't expecting that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, but my Fremen still suits 1 point of armor, right? So just So just 2.
Yes,
right
just
in the
2.
faith.
Right in the faith. Please stop stabbing me in the face.
Okay. So yeah, Sirach is completely taken aback by that. He really had no expectation that was going to happen.
I mean, you're wounded to your soul as well as your body.
But that's okay. I got something for him.
So, Xavier, do you want to do anything?
Continue to hide.
Oh, you can continue to hide. There is nothing stopping.
I'm still in the closet, as it were.
Pulling on that janitor's outfit.
I am holding a mop. So I will snap the mop in 2, jump out, and bring down these 2 sharp points into the nearest guy I can find.
Okay. Let's have a power and battle.
Ah, excellent. From my character sheet. Power.
I thought with each round of combat, we'd cut to Dan and he'd like zip, and then another like, belt.
Okay.
Nipples.
2 successes.
So you jam these 2 sharp bits of mop into the shoulder blades of one of the guards, who kind of cries out because, frankly, he wasn't expecting to be stabbed by a janitor at this point. So busy watching these Fremen assassins that being stabbed up by the cleaning staff was not on his to-do list. And his eyes kind of roll back in his head and he slumps to the floor, leaving the 3 of you surrounding the sergeant.
The Fedakeen will take your water if the next words that come from your mouth are not the truth. Where is Hanan? Where is Lucerne?
And where is the sample?
Where's the spice?
He looks from one of you to the next. And spits on the floor.
He's been here for a while.
No. He spits on the floor to be rude. He doesn't get it.
Okay.
Which probably makes the 2 of you go,
I catch
thank you for the gift of your body's water.
Yeah, I'm like, thank you for the gift of your water. Answer the question.
All of it.
It's being rude.
We'll take more than that in a moment.
He takes his own knife and stabs himself right in the heart.
Can we try and stop him from killing himself? Is it just like
I think at that point he kind of caught you by surprise.
That's fair. I think my face was
What with the, oh, here's some free water, stab myself, haha. He takes his own life rather than be captured.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, the Von Mirar fanatics.
That was
that's
disappointing.
certainly fanatical behavior.
Let's put the bodies in this closet.
I did not expect to find such courage among these people.
That wasn't courage. That was zealotry. Is that a word? Zealotry. Zealotry, thank you.
He feared to face the blades of true warriors, Aladi, and took his own life as a coward would.
So you dragged their bodies into the supply cupboard, and there's still quite a lot of blood on the gantry outside, and obviously it seeped through the gantry. Yes, you've got half a mop.
A broken mop.
And we'll pat the bodies down quickly to see if they've got any pass cards or anything useful.
They do. They all have a pass card. The sergeant's one has a little rank emblem on it.
Sirach hands that to Aladi and then gives one to Xavier and takes one himself.
They've all got, actually at the minute, all they've got is like a stun stick and a knife on them. They're not walking around with pistols inside their spaceship.
If they're indoors on a spaceship, they don't have personal shields at all.
They don't have personal shields because it is still Arrakis and people are a little bit will they, won't they?
Okay, fair enough.
Plus, if I'd given them personal shields, you'd have struggled a lot more.
It's true.
I had a las
Yeah,
gun.
fair enough.
No, I used that to blow up the nuke.
All right, Xavier, where?
To the bridge.
That way.
Xavier, it's starting to occur to you that why would they be on the bridge unless they are going to take off? Unless they are going to fly now. And this guy just said they're not going to be flying anywhere for a couple of days. So why would they be on the bridge, which is literally the room you use to fly the spaceship?
Strange plan. If they're planning on staying here a couple of days, from what that guard said, probably going to be somewhere else. We should head to the living quarter area.
It's still the same sort of direction, but going to save you bursting into the bridge and there being like one technician in there going, what?
One fish dude in a tank.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're on the High Line.
Yeah.
Getting a bloody navigator.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you keep Xavier's loyalty when you start threatening a navigator.
Yeah, I would die so quickly.
Fold space inside your head.
Ooh, that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we'll change direction to the.
So you lead them up towards the living quarters of the ship, which, these things are designed to be able to last for flights between planets. So potentially they could be flying for weeks or months at a time. Yes, they're also used to ferry stuff up and down planet to Highliner, but quite often the crews of these ships will stay on the cargo ship during transit, whereas houses and stuff would have their own luxury suites on the Highliner. So there are living quarters here, and you make your way up towards them. They're up on the sort of top half of the ship. So you're already in the right sort of area for it. And as you get closer to the living quarters, you notice that there are a few more guard patrols wandering around, generally teams of 2 rather than that team of 4 that you came across a minute ago. But there looks to be either 2 house guards walking together or 2 smugglers walking together. You don't see any more of the cast out. You also notice at one point what looks to be some kind of scientist or wizard or engineer
Wizards. We should
looking guy.
We see him. Sirach once again looks at Aladi with that Do you want me to take him or not?
Grab him.
I guess that he looks much better dressed than the others and is not in von Meer clothes and is very superior and is ordering everyone else around. So he's clearly someone of some importance. Xavier, you reckon he's, well, based on his skin. Yeah, sharp teeth, grey complexion. Lots of facial tattoos. Slightly upswept ears. All the hallmarks of being a Tleilaxu master.
Is he by himself or is he with guards?
He's actually walking by himself.
Okay.
Down one of the corridors. The guards move out of the way when he passes. And he goes into one of the rooms and seals it behind him.
Okay. I think this guy might know about the sample and where prominent members of the crew are, so we should get in there and talk to him.
I can disable as well as kill, Aladi. Have no fear.
I know. I've seen you in action many times. It's more terrifying than the murdering. Xavier,
The Fedaykin live to serve.
I'm not sure this pass. Let's hold up the bit of plastic. Will get us in that door.
Let me take a look at the lock.
It looks like a handprint lock.
Earth. It's a handprint lock.
Can you bypass it?
Unlikely, but I'll give it a go.
What kind of door are we talking about? We're talking about a next generation, carpet door that you can easily if you had to, or talking about like proper.
Well, it's an interior spaceship door, so it's got to be strong enough to withstand depressurization in one of the rooms or corridors.
Okay. One of the little hand pump.
Crank.
I mean, sure, you could do that.
We could go back and cut the arm off the sergeant and see if that hand worked.
Someone's been around the Fremen too long.
Yeah, turning native.
I check his eyes.
They are looking a little bluer. So what do you want to do?
Where to go?
See if you can hack it.
I want to try and hack it. Okay.
To go back and cut the guy's hand off, would that be going past lots of people again, or?
I bet this guy's door is keyed only to his hand, and maybe
probably,
maybe the captain or something.
Yeah. I think we should knock.
That was going to be my second option. Just knock and wait till he opens.
We'll have to go with option 2. I'm afraid that's no successes from me.
Okay.
It's too.
Yeah, you can't even get into the cover of this hand scanner.
Is there like a doorbell, or is it a knock situation?
It's a knock.
Sirach looks at Xavier. You're dressed as one of these ship's complements. You knock. We'll be to either side of the door. When he opens it, we'll move in.
You are literally doing the housekeeping thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ding, ding, ding. Housekeeping.
Does he open the door?
Oh, you're not right. Sorry. So you knock on the door.
Yeah. I thought we were literally going to.
Sorry, I think you were muted when you said that. Ding, ding, ding. You knock on the door.
As I'm in a janitor's outfit, shall I do it and you guys hide? Or...
That's what they said.
We're going to stand either side of the door.
So
sorry, I missed that bit. Okay.
The door slides open. And stood there is this grey-skinned, quite horrifying looking. He's clearly gone out of his way to make himself look scarier. He got a monocle screwed into one eye socket.
He gets 2 Fremen in the face.
Sirach reverses his Chris knife and pommel strikes the guy right between his eyes to stun him.
So he staggers backwards into the room.
Jump in.
And I'll go in shoulder first and like push him over onto like a table or a bed or whatever, or a chair, you know.
I'll
Yes, you
sidestep out of
shoulder
the way.
barge him onto a bed that is in the room.
Okay.
Xavier, shut the door.
Not a bed. What am I saying? No, this is the palm print block. This isn't his bedroom. There's a desk.
Shut
Yes,
the door.
sorry.
Okay.
So you shove him in and onto a desk, and is a little bit stunned, a little bit poleaxed, shoulder to the chest, and he falls backwards over the desk and knocks a few things off of it. Xavier steps in and closes the door behind you.
And I've got the tip of my Chris knife just gently inserted into his right ear.
I would stay motionless, except to talk. For your words
He
will now buy
freezes,
life.
so motionless you could almost assume that he was dead.
Where is the sample?
Hello, friends.
Where is
How
the
may I
sample?
assist you? Ah, the sample. Which sample would that be?
All of them.
Sample of our Reverend Mother.
Ah, that sample. Unfortunately, that sample is away somewhere with the house. They wouldn't let me do anything with it. However, I could probably do something for you.
Where are Hanan?
You look injured. I could patch you up. Perhaps that leg could actually do with just replacing. I could have a new one grown for you in a few hours.
We're not interested.
Where are Hanan, Lucerne, and Keenum?
Ah, the three glorious leaders of this little adventure. Well, Kinam, he's gone back to his people. He's done his part, got what he came for. He and his are going back into the desert. Hanan and his smugglers will be leaving us within the day, and then we can get off this wretched little ball, up into space, and return to cooler, more civilized climes.
Weaker, wetter worlds.
If you wish, certainly. Now, if it's strength you're after, I do have a rather fine line in muscle grafts. Say again?
Lucerne. Where is
Lucerne? Oh, no, he's still here. Very much still here.
Where?
Just down the hall. Last I heard. I would imagine this time of day, he's just come in from out there in the desert. He likes to have a long shower, nice cool shower, plenty of water, scrub off all the stench of the desert. You know how it is. And then a big meal. Maybe a few glasses of something soft and fruity.
You people are abominations.
Yes, I hear that quite a lot. But this abomination could do you rather a great many favors.
I
have no
do not
partisan
understand
interest.
This world or its people if you think these words will weigh with any weight with us.
Oh, you misunderstand. I have no partisan interest whatsoever in the little politicking. I'm a scientist and a tradesman. And for either of these things, I can avail you whatever you wish. My death serves no purpose to you or anybody else. Alive, I am of vastly greater use.
What service did you perform for the enemies of our Sietch in their endeavors?
What's a Sietch?
It's our home. All of our people were massacred by the people who own the ship that you live on.
Oh, you from that grubby little rock pile? Yes, such a waste. Terrible waste. They were very keen to... Well, at first I was quite happy with them. You know, they were just going to test out the prototypes, see how they worked. We've been working on newer models. I had quite high hopes for them as a house. But then the smugglers and the Jackaroot got involved, and they decided to make it into a whole big thing, and such a waste of livestock.
What prototypes?
The Gola.
Those beasts.
Oh, we killed them.
Oh, that's a waste. Never mind. We have the plans.
You say we, you and who else?
Well, Tleilaxu obviously have the plans. The Von Meer designed them under our guidance. They've been excellent students, I must say. Slightly rabid and religious for my taste, but
Heretical
I'm sure you're familiar with how that goes.
Heretical abominations that will be destroyed.
That's what everybody says about the latest advances in science. They're not thinking machines, though, are they? Don't you follow the Orange Catholic Bible?
We
You
know
Zen
those
Sunni
words.
wanderers.
We know those words.
Exactly. It only prohibits the use of thinking machines. We and our siblings among the Mentats and the Gesserit have our own, and even the Spacing Guild, to be honest, have our own little foibles and differences. Now, what can Bagale do for you is the real question here. What will it cost me to live out our little encounter and return home to continue my studies and visit my dear wife and beloved children? Of course, I don't have children.
Sirach just looks over it.
Or a wife.
Aladi is he's just waiting.
I'm going to say...
Ugly, noisy things.
I'm going to say, the only thing we want from you, and I'll turn around and walk away and say, is your water.
Yeah. Boom. Chris knife right through into the skull.
Oh, that was a waste.
He winks at you. As you stab him right into the skull, he winks at you, pulls this sardonic little smile, and then the life runs out of him.
He's probably a goaler anyway. There's probably some tank somewhere where he's like Rick Sanchezing it up.
Cyloning out of a pool of goo.
Yeah.
Oh, I just died.
Sirach pulls the Chris knife out, looks at Xavier, and he goes, I pity you even greater now, knowing that you must walk among creatures such as this.
Foul, disgusting things. Twisting nature in such depraved ways.
Please, at some point, we all need to have a conversation about something called political clout.
They destroyed our Sietch.
He laughed about the death of our people. He called them experiments. I shove his butt. Livestock. And so Sirach kind of breaks his hips and his knees so he can cram him under the desk.
I had a favour from the Tleilaxu.
Is there a bag of lye hanging around somewhere, Aaron?
I only wish. That would be easier, but we must move on.
So he is wearing a very ornate ring knuckle in gold that covers
check
most
a hunter
of
killer
one
isn't
finger.
about to come out of a little slot somewhere.
He's got a fancy looking monocle. He is wearing a personal shield.
Ooh. Can we do a shield lasgun bomb at some point, please? I just want to leave a shield on something and then from very far away lasgun it.
Xavier, do you know?
And there's nothing else particularly obvious on him. His clothes are very fine and layered.
I know what that is. I say, pointing at the shield. That's a personal shield and a whole load of trouble for someone in the desert. These other things, I'm not so sure. Though maybe I'd have a look at that ring a bit closer.
Yeah, looking closer at the ring, it's some kind of poison injector, like a gom jabbar of some kind.
That could be handy.
The gems on it aren't actually gems. When you get up close to it, you can see that each one of the gems is actually a liquid in a little ampule.
Anyone mind if I take this?
By all means, Xavier. You have helped us greatly. You deserve what spoils you can find from the enemies of our siege.
When you pick up the monocle, you can see that there's a little thing inside it that's saying that it's both broadcasting and recording.
How unfortunate.
You look into
At
it.
which
Say,
point,
did you
I shall
enjoy?
finish the session.
Did you enjoy the show?
Looks like we may have trouble, guys.
Or was it broadcast? Maybe it's kind of like downloading his brain somewhere. I don't know.
I think we should save that monocle for Foom.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Be very interested in that, I think.
All right, so thank you very much for joining us for Dune, episode 4 of Sietch Abbikat. We've got 1 or 2 sessions left. I think 2 sessions left, looking at the date. What day is it? It's Thursday.
It is.
Which means that
weekend.
So tonight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Still acting Cthulhu?
Octun Cthulhu.
Mhm.
Perhaps the last episode of the Romanian Imperative.
Oh.
Perhaps not. 1 or 2 episodes left. And then on Thursday nights, we're going to be switching every week between Starfinder, the Horizon Adventure Path, and another Octun Cthulhu mission, because we all fell in love with Octun Cthulhu. It's fantastic.
Cool. That's cool. That's great when you
And
play a game and
after
you want to
we
keep doing it.
finished Dune, we're moving across to playing a short One Ring, 2nd edition, the new one from Free League
Yes.
campaign.
Yeah.
Lewis is going to be running that on a Thursday night.
Mhm.
So we've built our little fellowship and we're getting ready to go for that in March.
Hey up, lad.
And then tomorrow also,
special news show,
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
reboot
Da-da-da-da-da.
of The Enemy Within. We're starting again. And Jim is in the hot seat, and this is an unofficial playthrough of The Enemy Within.
And it has to be with what Jim does to NPCs.
And it's going to be monthly to begin with, isn't it?
Yes, once a month to begin with.
Yeah. And you never know, they might get very excited and decide to upgrade it to fortnightly or weekly. We'll see. But yeah, our patrons have been able to see a prequel episode, and all patrons of all levels have been able to watch it. So that's up there at the moment. If you want to support us, then check out Patreon link below. And you can.
If not, you could always just watch the 10-hour version of They're Taking the Hobbits to Isengard.
You could do. That would be fun. Then next week, back round to Tuesday with Roads and Ruins. You guys will probably be heading back to Emberwatch Tower to figure out what you're doing next. Or you may go
And to
somewhere
say,
else.
please, please, please stick to the agreement we made so they don't cut off our fox's hand.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then next Wednesday, we're back
Lex
with Lex
Arcana.
Arcana. Yeah. And
Wasn't
that's
that
a
an
whole week.
REM song?
Anyway.
That's it. That's us until next week. So thank you very much. Bring back the xenomorphs. In the One Ring, that's a bit excessive. Mind you.
My Dunedain treasure hunter would not be very thrilled.
Yeah. Oh, that would be mad.
The shadow is extending its reach. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We are going to head off now into the hills and far away. Thank you very much and good night.
Cheers.